Okay, greetings everyone. Hello. Great to be with you in this epic moment. And my name is David Nicol from Earth Rising. I'm a member of One Nation. We offer this every month on the first Thursday of each month as a way of building coherence in ourselves and throughout our movement. So thank you so much for taking the time this evening to be with us. One thing that we do at the start of each call is get an update from Christopher about what's moving in One Nation. So Christopher, over to you.
Thank you, Wayne.
David.
I literally just saw Wayne join in the call.
I saw that.
My wires crossed. Thank you, David, and welcome Wayne and everybody else. And anyone who's live, go and turn on your video just for the first couple moments. I would love to just see everyone. Jennifer, Lindsay, hi there. Zara, hi. Patricia, Ruby, Leah, Heidi, Danny, great. We've got a really lovely group of people here. Again, if you're just joining, feel free to turn your video on for these first couple moments so we can all say hi. As far as an update in the One Nation field, we are, I mean, it's very, like you said, what an epic moment we're in, right, David? We, in January, said we are a new political party in service to systemic transformation. And there are a lot of people who are connected to that concept of systemic transformation, but at a mass scale, that's not something that was really crossing a lot of people's minds on a day-to-day basis. And within just a couple months, some environmental circumstances have occurred through coronavirus and other things that are now having people really question the system, look at the system, see the potential systemic failures right up close and personal. And people are experiencing even little things like just the wanting to go get toilet paper and not being able to is tiny in the grand scheme of things, but it's enormous in having people think about, wow, the thing that I counted on is actually based upon a relatively fragile economic supply chain model, and it could just not be there tomorrow. And if toilet paper could not be there, what if power wasn't there? Or what if the US dollar doesn't have the same value tomorrow as it had today? Or what if this, or what if that? And I think that people are starting to really authentically inquire or look at the potential failures of our system. And that is creating a greater context than, it's just creating a very powerful context for One Nation to rise within. And so we're still putting a lot of energy on figuring out exactly how to create the next batch of media, exactly what that narrative is, exactly how to distribute that information. And we're getting clearer that we're preparing for a really big summer, that we're seeing that there's this kind of social movement that's a political, transformational, systemic movement, kind of like the Occupy, but more generative, more creative, more vision, more leadership, a way to deeply integrate various different movements from indigenous rights to African-American rights to this kind of regenerative consciousness movement and the whole Occupy movement and the independence and the disenfranchised. And so we really have a very ripe opportunity to bring a lot of these different movements together. And the question is what type of context can we create for the summer that allows these movements to come together and to connect and to have purpose and to have a reason to be in collaboration so that we can stand side by side in the streets, quote unquote, and we can also work side by side, as our movement isn't just a protest, and our movement isn't just a festival like the Summer of Love in '69, but our movement is some combination of the best of a protest and demonstration, and the best of a Summer of Love, and the best of practically improving our own quality of life, practically improving the quality of life of our communities, and starting to actually do the research and the thinking around how to create transformational policy and transformational leadership in the world, and the United States specifically. So we're in that zone. We've launched a daily transmission called the Rise Above program, which some of you might be here because we invited you to hear instead of that. So that's one way we've been communicating daily. And our team has committed to earnestly study historical movements over the next 30 days as like an education sprint, so that we are maximally abreast to the best practices and the failures and the successes of other social movements. Again, not that we're gonna just say, oh, we're gonna lead a social movement this summer, but there's actually a real social movement that is available. And so the question is what type of leadership can we provide? How can we create context? How can we create structure and organization? And how can we be a match to the gunpowder that's already there? Being the desire for deep transformation, the match being the vision or the structure or the context or the rallying point to be able to help to light us up. And the predictions are that we'll be coming out of this quarantine situation in July or so. And what better moment in time to come out of our homes as a force of nature, and not just come out and just go back to business as usual, but actually come out of our homes and go into the parks and go into the streets and come together and leverage the affordance of coming back together socially, to do that, not just to celebrate coming out of quarantine, but actually celebrate that this crisis we're in is actually a birth, celebrate the funeral of that which is passing and the arrival of everything that can become new if we use this moment in time that we have to create maximum momentum to break us out of the rat race and the cycle of status quo, which will result in deep political, economic, social, and cultural transformations. But now is the time for that. Not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna be a multi-decade arc to be able to get there. But we are ready to participate and provide vision and leadership and facilitation over that extended period of time, because that's really what we need in order to do the depth of the societal transformation work that's ours to do. Thank you, David.
Awesome. Thank you, Christopher. So if you came on a little late, that was Christopher Life of One Nation. If you're new to One Nation, if you came through our channel, my name is David Nicol from Earth Rising, and this is a co-hosted event series that we do every month. And if you haven't already turned on to One Nation, the new political party and movement that Christopher is leading with a very inspired team, then I highly recommend you checking it out, onenation.party. And a very inspired, comprehensive vision for a way forward for all of us. Okay, so we are working tonight with joy. We're going to do a guided practice here shortly. And I wanted to just say a few words about the overview and also just about joy. Some may think that in a time when there's a lot of suffering going on, sometimes we can think that, oh, is joy being insensitive to that suffering? But just wanted to make it clear that there is compassion is implicit in joy. in its joy is not insensitive to suffering, and joy has in it the wisdom to know that what might be most helpful actually to relieve people of suffering in a certain way is to bring the joy that lightens the load, that uplifts the spirit, that reconnects us with the goodness of life. And I'd also just say that I think, as we all would be aware here, that this is a moment that is not just about suffering, but there is also this supreme opportunity that Christopher was speaking to for many new energies, many new ways that all of us have been, anticipating for a long time, for this opportunity to come in with the spirit of creativity, which is unprecedented right now, these opportunities. And so joy is a very significant part of this moment in terms of, joy is the language of creativity, is very much linked to creativity. And at a time when many of the external reference for our lives that we've known are in the process of dissolving, joy can be our guide for the way through. There's a lot of uncertainty about the path ahead, but following joy is a very sure guide. Joy is the language of life, and life knows the way. Life knows the way through this initiation deeper than any of our minds do. And if we follow joy, then we'll be shown step by step the path to this new era. So I'm excited to create this field of joy tonight together. And I wanted to just read out something from a teacher that I like from Australia, who wrote something recently about our situation, just as a way of setting the context for the power of what we're doing here. And so I'm just going to read this out and then just comment on it briefly. It's just short. Many of us at all levels of society have recognized that our economy has become overcharged and is contributing to the damage of human and other life. Many of us have asked for a transformation to take place to heal humanity of its greed, stupidity, and short-sightedness. Many of us have prayed for the protection of nature on our planet. When so many people make a deep, heartfelt request for the same thing, it produces a response in consciousness. It changes our experience. Something happens. That something is happening right now. That response to our prayers and wishes is in motion. That longing for everything to slow down and for nature to become stronger is underway. We have been heard. There was such coherence in our collective outpouring of love for the planet and nature and health and well-being and true prosperity that there is coherence in the response. We are showing ourselves right now how powerful we are to create change. Who would have imagined we could all transform our lives so quickly? Who could have imagined that nature could start to recover so quickly, with cleaner air and water being some of the first signs? Who could possibly have conceived of a way to slow us all down and make us stop for a while? That's Sarah McCrum, and I really love that. And I wanted to read that here to remind us of the power that I feel that we are discovering as a species, the real power of our shared coherent intentions, our shared coherent prayers. This is not just simply something on the margins. This is something important about how we co-create reality together. Okay, so we're going to do our practice, and we turn off our video for the practice. At the end of the practice, I'm going to play a song, And it can be good and also fun to move the energies, especially working with joy, through our bodies. And I'd invite you this time to turn your video back on when the song comes on, so that we can dance together, move together, dance together. You know, so it's fine also just to sit if you're in a quieter place, but there's this chance that we have to connect, especially when we're being in such isolation. So I'll remind you of that when we get to it. Okay, so for now, we'll turn off our videos and go into the meditation. So please close your eyes if they're not already closed, and invite you to just take a few deep breaths, and let's all just give ourselves a few moments here to settle into this space, to arrive more fully, to relax. Just resting deeper and deeper into the present moment. And greeting whatever you find here, whatever feelings or sensations are here for you, whether they're pleasurable or painful, expanded or contracted, just greeting them exactly as they are. And then please bring your presence and awareness to your heart center in the middle of your chest, and breathing in and out of your heart. Giving room to whatever is here in your heart, and just remembering the energy of your heart. And then bringing your awareness down to your feet, your legs, your pelvis, places where you make contact with the ground beneath you. Feeling that contact, that connection, and starting to open your awareness to the vast living presence of the earth itself. Sensing your awareness reaching down into the earth, as if you were a tree that's sending roots that reach down, spreading out into the earth. Opening a channel of connection between you and nourishing, vital, alive energies of earth. Sensing your roots reaching out now and interlacing with each other's roots, sensing that we're stabilizing each other's presence, stabilizing our connection with each other and our connection with the earth. As if we were like a silent forest. And then feeling our roots interlacing and reaching down deeper and deeper till we make contact all the way down with the very core of the earth. Sensing your whole being, your whole rhythm slowing down as come into resonance with the pulse of the earth. On your next in-breath, breathing in the vitality of the earth, breathing it up through those roots from the very core. Feeling that energy rising and coming into your feet and legs and starting to fill your whole body. The power and vitality of the earth. And as that life force rises in you, sensing your awareness opening like a tree opens its branches to the light from the sun and the stars. Receiving that light, basking in that light, letting it fill you and cleanse and purify your whole energy field. Opening a channel of connection between you and the vast creative energies of the cosmos. Invite you to see and feel that light surrounding you now, creating a healthy boundary, healthy membrane that brings a sense of wholeness and protection and integrity to your whole system. Being present here as your very truest and deepest and highest self. Please now extend your awareness to the presence of everyone who's here, who's part of this call. And let's welcome into our awareness those who will participate later via the recording. Feeling our shared presence, our group field. Coming into formation just by our awareness of each other's presence. Awareness of our shared calling to be here in service in this way. And seeing and feeling a membrane of light now all around our group field. Bringing a sense of integrity and wholeness to the group space. We welcome into this field the healing powers from the earth realms, healing powers from spirit realms. Open together to the great mystery of reality. Please bring your awareness now back to our group field, and I'd like you to imagine that we're gathered in a large circle. On the inside circumference of our circle, please see and feel a filter of golden light. With the sincere intention to keep our inner sanctum pure, creating this filter together that allows us to pass through in our essence while holding all other energies lovingly but firmly for the duration of our practice. Please bring your awareness once more back to your heart center in the middle of your chest. Feeling your heart, being present with your heart. I invite you to open to a sense of gratitude in the heart for this chance to come together in this way at this time. Knowing that we're called to be here in this way, and that we need each other to draw forth the full power and potential of this healing group field. I invite you to sense that this gratitude is starting to pull your heart closer and closer to the center of our circle now, feeling your heart center being pulled closer into the center, passing through that filter, feeling our heart centers coming closer and closer together till we start to meet in the very center of the circle, in our hearts, mixing and merging. Coming into a deep and natural resonance. Keeping our attention in the presence that's forming in the very center of our circle. A presence that contains something of the real essence of every one of us, something of our deeper, truer heart. invite you to sense this presence as one heart starting to develop its own heartbeat. Please feel the fullness and the strength, the robustness and the health of our one heart. Sensing that this heartbeat in the center of our field is beating in resonance with the very core of the earth. Our group heart coming into deep alignment and resonance with the very heart of Gaia. Sensing the resonance between your own heart, our group heart, and the heart of Gaia. Bringing your awareness back to your own presence. Invite you to start to connect with quality that is always here as an intrinsic part of your consciousness, the quality of joy. Joy has a lightness, a natural expansiveness, a radiance. You might recall a moment that brings this quality to the foreground for you. Maybe something simple like watching dogs play on a beach, hearing children laugh, observing something beautiful that happens in the world. And this natural response of our hearts to open in joy, to radiate happiness. Sensing this part of your nature as a glow, a yellow light like a sunbeam. And then to start to sense this part of your nature, your joy, emanating out from where you are, shining, radiating like a sunbeam, your natural joy, shining into our group heart in the center of our circle. And sensing our many sunbeams of joy converging in our group heart and meeting there and mixing and merging in a deep happiness. Sunbeams of our nature, mixing and merging, dancing together in our group heart. And forming in the very center of our group heart a beautiful sun of our shared joy. Sensing the exquisite nature of this sun of our shared joy, filling our group heart with powerful joy, powerful light. Feeling our group heart becoming its own source of radiance, energy, happiness, and joy. Please sense now our sun of joy in our group heart, feeling the resonance between our sun of joy and our physical sun. Feeling the resonance between the joy of your nature, your light of joy, the sun of joy in the center of our group heart, and our physical sun. bringing your energy, our attention and energy back to our group heart in the center of our field. And as our heart beats, pulses together, starting to sense that with every heartbeat that it's sending out powerful pulse of joy. These light beams of our shared joy are starting to radiate out from our group heart. Feeling some of these pulses coming towards you. Receiving these sunbeams of joy into your heart. And as you receive this light of joy into your heart, feeling your heart pumping it out through your blood system, throughout your whole body, your whole being. Transporting this yellow light, delightful light, radiant, free energy, moving all through your body and being. Every cell of your body starting to vibrate with this frequency of joy. Recognizing that this light contains something of the real essence of every one of us, our real joy. That we're all supporting each other to uplift together, to open together. To allow our real nature of joy to shine through more fully. Please bring into your awareness now those who you love, your loved ones. Sensing that with every heartbeat that you are starting to pulse this signal of joy to their hearts. Through their love for you, sensing them coming into resonance with this frequency. Your hearts coming into resonance together and effortlessly transmitting this quality of joy. And then sensing your loved ones starting to transmit this signal to all of their loved ones. And then to their loved ones, and to their loved ones, and to their loved ones. a transmission of joy, a signal of joy, spreading, being transmitted heart to heart. Wider and wider, starting to ripple out across the planet, rippling out throughout the human family, across cultures, across races, across political divides. And let's just take a few more moments here in silence. And with every heartbeat, we're sensing another pulse of joy, sourcing from our strong, vibrant group heart at the very center of our field. Sourcing from the sun, sending its light down through our group heart, refracting out to each one of us. And then through this coherent matrix, sending it out, rippling out through into the greater field, the wider human family. As the music plays, feel free to move as you feel inspired to allow this spirit of joy to be moved through our bodies, through our field. You can stay in the quiet place as well if you feel to. Okay, looks like I'm having a bit of a technical issue here and accessing my music, so let's just stay in the silence. And then gently bringing your awareness back to where you are located in 3D reality, feeling your feet on the ground, becoming aware of your surroundings. Connecting with your sovereignty as an autonomous, unique individual, but still deeply immersed in our group presence. We ask that this activity be made all powerfully active, ever expanding, eternally sustained, until the highest evolutionary possibilities are fulfilled in accordance with the greatest good of all. We seal this portal with universal silent peace. So, thank you so much, friends. If and when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and turn on your videos if you would like, and we can have some time just for any reflections or sharing. I fully understand when we are in a very expanded place, it's can be a little challenging to transition to words. But we just want to have a time here if there's anything bubbling up that would like to be shared.
I'll speak.
Hi, Tommy.
Hey, um, through the meditation, I was led strongly to go out and connect with the native habitat across from my house, near all these native plants of this big project that the city's doing. It's like a lot of acres upon acres, and I just felt like I needed to come out here, of course, to ground and be a part of this nature in the midst of the meditation.
Was there any part of the meditation you wanted to share about, Tommy?
Not any specific part. I just enjoyed the silence and being grounded.
Got it. Thank you. Any more comments?
While we're waiting for any other last comments, I'll just, for anyone who isn't on the list, if you go to onenation.party and click programs, you'll find the group meditation page. There's an opportunity to just opt in through a short form, and that'll put you on the list to receive the notifications for our monthly meditations. So if this was impactful for you, if you'd like to be in touch with these going forward, if you're not on that list yet, go free to opt in on that specific group meditation page on our website. And if you're not yet a member and interested in being a part of a political party that honors this aspect of the human experience, this aspect of consciousness, and is committed to fully integrating these types of conscious practices in our forms of leadership of cities, states, and the country, then please consider registering as a member. And you can do that by just clicking membership on the One Nation Party webpage and reading a little bit more about membership there. So thank you so much for joining here. And we just want to be as deeply involved with each of you as we possibly can. And these forms of meditation are one of the ways that we're able to start to come together and build movement. And David and I definitely have a vision of having hundreds and thousands of people on these regular meditations, and just kind of 1 month after another, just holding the space and preparing for us to really integrate a deep social movement with a deep meditation practice. And then there's other ways to get involved as well. This is just one of those access points.
Okay, maybe last call for comments. If there's anything that's wanting to be shared.
I will share, David. This is Leah.
Hi, Leah.
So it seems that joy has many textures, and everyone is so silent right now, and so interwoven and really comforted by that, I feel. And the joy is so expressive, and yet we're allowing the joy to like nestle into us.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel very close to everyone right at the moment.
Yeah.
It could make me cry because joy isn't always just hooting and hollering.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to express my gratitude for this incredibly valuable space that you are guiding us into and orchestrating, and Christopher's leadership. It is profound at this point in time. And so I'll stop, but I just wanted to say basically, thank you for letting us touch this aspect of joy.
Thank you so much, Leah. I really appreciate you saying that. And it's so true. Joy can be very deep and quiet, as well as more expressive. And I think you're right that we touched into that very deep place together. So yeah, thank you.
And I'll just come right back to the calls to action that if this was really meaningful to you, put it on your calendar right now for next month, same time, same place, the first Thursday of every month at 5:30 Pacific. And bring a friend, invite a friend over to home with you and have that meditation together, or just share the link with them and have them join on this way. Let that joy that's sinking into your cells, Leah, bubble its way back up to the surface through action, in creating the context to share that joy with others. And David is so thoughtful about considering, what to focus on and how to create the themes. And, he doesn't take this lightly. It's a real deep practice that he's in to hold this space. And I really feel like now is the time for us to honor that and do our best to expand the field so we can be doing this more deeply and with more people more frequently.
Thanks, Christopher. Yeah. Jim, did you want to share something before I think we'll bring it to a close.
I do want to thank Leah for putting that in words, because that just sort of pulled the cork out for me. Exactly, David. It's the quality of joy that excited the coherence, and then using the image of the sun and the group and circle around it, I felt a strong level of coherence, and the whole group just being a part of it, all adding our particular flavor of love and joy.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your work and what you bring to this meditation. Both of the last 2 months have given me that feeling strongly, and it's anchoring the feeling of coherence in my heart. I really appreciate it.
So beautiful, Jim.
Thank all the rest of you for being on the call as well. because you've added your flavors.
Totally. Beautifully said, Jim. Thank you. It's always such a contribution when, you know, when people share at the end of this call. It really enlivens the whole field and and deepens it. So thank you so much, Jim. Okay, everyone. I think that's it for this evening. I'm going to unmute the line so we can say goodbye. Have a wonderful month. Draw upon this field of joy whenever you feel you need it. And we'll see you. Oops. See you out there in the field. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste.
So grateful for
Namaste.
everybody. Grateful. Thank you.
Until we meet again.
Till we meet again.
Hila.
Bye, folks.